This month in ABN AMRO World Hockey, we're in northwestern Europe for the inaugural edition of the Euro Hockey League. New rules, exciting TV coverage and massive response. The EHL promises to take hockey to new heights. China continues its build-up towards the Olympics. We're in Southeast Asia for another exciting edition of the Singapore International. And we find out how the top hockey nations are grooming their generation next. The International Hockey Federation has unveiled Delhi as the venue for the 2010 World Cup. It's hoped that this announcement would give the game a boost in India.
Every country where the World Cup has been hosted, hockey has grown and has done better. And I would be surprised if that would not be the case in India.
Germany are the defending champions. They'll be looking to make it 3 in a row in Delhi. India have won this event just once in '75. Pakistan striker Rehan Butt has been dropped from his country's squad for the upcoming Samson Champions Trophy in Kuala Lumpur. Goalkeeper Salman Akbar has been appointed captain in his place. Butt has been struggling with hamstring problems and was unable to attend the last 3 days of the team's training camp in Karachi. Antwerp, the centre of the world's diamond trade, is one of the most attractive cities in Europe. It has a great cultural heritage as well, and counts artists like Rubens among its favourite sons. But as always, we're here for the hockey, and more specifically for the first round of the maiden Euro Hockey League, hosted by the Royal Antwerp Hockey Club. 12 teams were divided into 4 groups at this venue, with 8 making it to the last 16, joining another 8 from the other first round leg in Den Haag. Spanish side Igara, playing in their distinctive striped shirts, were off to a great start against Pembroke Wanderers, Eddie Tubau putting them into the lead. But the Irishmen fought back gamely, levelling things up at 1-1. The Spaniards, with 7 internationals in their ranks though, were just a shade better on the day, winning 3-2 to take full points from their opening Group F game. Dutch champions Bloemendaal faced Ullenhorster of Hamburg in Group C, and it was the Germans who took the lead through Patrick Breitenstein. The equaliser took a long time coming, but it was worth the wait. Dutch striker Ronald Brouwer producing a piece of magic. And just a couple of minutes later, Bloemendaal were ahead, Brouwer putting the finishing touch on a flowing move. Trailing 2-3 with just 20 seconds on the clock, the Germans staged a great escape. Young striker Benjamin Kopp nicking the equaliser to end a great contest. Host Royal Antwerp, dressed in white and red, began on the right foot against Spain's Real Club de Polo, Marc-Jan Claesen giving them a shock lead. Polo, though, came back strongly in the second half, with Spanish national skipper Kiko Fabregas making it 1-1. And just when the game looked set for a draw, Polo earned a stroke. Dutch former German star Christian Wein duly converted. Star-studded Bloemendaal were hoping to seal their second-round spot when they played Poland Grunwald. But a defensive lapse allowed Artem Akula to put the Poles ahead. Stung by the goal, World Player of the Year Ton de Nooijer weaved his magic, setting up Lars Stalling for a simple finish. Grunwald, though, refused to wilt, and only a late goal by Tim Jenniskens allowed Bloemendaal to sneak a narrow 3-2 win and seal their place in the last 16. So, Ullenhorster and Bloemendaal go through from Group C. Group B sees Barcelona's Polo and Royal Antwerp move into the next round. England's Loughborough Students and Azuri Kelburn from Scotland progressed from Group E, and Club Igara from Terrassa and Poznan's Puskovic move up from Group F. The other first-round leg was held in the Dutch city of Den Haag at a time when autumn breathed colour into Europe. Dutch club HGC hosted the event, which also saw 12 teams divided into 4 groups competing for the 8 available spots in the next round. Hamburg's Club and Den Alster had a tough task on their hands to qualify from Group D, but they were soon ahead against Belgium's Waterloo Ducks. And when Tobias Henschel made it 2-0, Alster looked to be well on course. But Waterloo refused to wilt. Young Argentine Juan Garreta pulling one back in the 43rd minute with a powerful drag flick. And Garreta was at it again a few minutes later, beating Ulster keeper Tem Jessel out with ease. The game ended in a draw. Rotterdam shocked the European champions Athletic Terrassa with an early goal by Robert Tigges. A clinical finish from Spanish national striker Oriol Fresher made it 1-1. And this action-packed first half continued to provide more goals. Herren Hertzberger coming up with this beauty to put Rotterdam in front once again. Only for Sergei Enrique to ensure that the first half would end all square. The second half, though, was all one-way traffic, with Tigges sealing a 4-2 win for Rotterdam after the Kiwi striker Phil Burrows had put them ahead. The hosts HGC in their dark strip had to wait till the dying stages of the first half to grab the lead against Ulster. John German then added 2 more goals in the second half to ensure that HGC sealed a comfortable victory in Group A. HGC were in action again the next day, this time in their light blue outfit, taking the early lead against Waterloo Ducks, courtesy Bram Lomans. But the Ducks showed their resilience and sealed a 2-2 draw when Alexander de Sadelaar beat Gus Vogels with a withering flick to ensure that both sides moved into round 2. Saint-Germain, the surprise package of the tournament, took the early lead against Reading, but the English champions came back strongly in the second half. They fought back from 2-0 down to end it 2-2. The draw set up the first shootout of the EHL as Reading and Germany's Krefelder were tied for second place in Group G behind Saint-Germain.
It's the only way that works on those type of...
After several failed attempts, English international Jonty Clark broke the deadlock to put Reading in front with a cool finish. And when the English national goalkeeper James Fair thwarted this Krefelder attempt, Reading were through to the second round. So Saint-Germain topped Group G after all 3 group games ended in draws, followed by Reading. In Group A, Rotterdam finish on top, followed by Athletic Terrassa. Host HGC and Waterloo Ducks move up at the expense of Ulster in Group D. And Kanak and Dynamo Kazan of Russia take the top 2 in Group H. The hugely ambitious Euro Hockey League had been envisioned as a showpiece event for the game in Europe. And by the end of the first round of the inaugural tournament, it was pretty clear the event was a huge success. Everyone, spectators, television viewers, players and coaches, were thrilled with how it had turned out.
For the hockey, generally it's a good thing because it makes it more popular and more professional than it is in Germany or in other leagues. And we have the opportunity to play against really, really good players.
EHL is a good benefit for the club hockey in Europe. And first of all, of course, the 24 best teams in Europe get the opportunity to participate in the tournament, and that is really much better compared to the former days where we played European Cup 1 and 2, and not only the best teams were competing, but sometimes you had really results of 10, 8, 9 goals difference, and that's not good for international hockey from my point of view.
With 17 television cameras at each venue, the game was covered like never before. And with sponsors like the FIH's worldwide partners ABN AMRO also pitching in, the Euro Hockey League turned into a marquee event, the likes of which had never been seen in Europe before, at least at club level. And for those associated with the game, its success came as a pleasant surprise.
It's very nice, of course, and we never expected that this idea of the AHL, the new concept of European hockey for club teams, would make such a good progress, and in just a short notice, short time. This concept is already there, and if you see the professionality and how it does look like, and with the cameras and everything, the organization around that by Pro Sport, it's great. I think it's really a very good advertising for the hockey.
Yeah, it's very nice, of course, because in Europe we play only normally one tournament at the end of the normal season. If you are champions, we play only one time in one weekend, and never with televisions and nothing about marketing and nothing about this kind of things. And now I think the hockey is growing, of course, in Holland and Germany. But I think it's important for hockey, no? We have to do this kind of tournaments. It's so important, television, and I think it's going better, no?
The diktats of television saw a host of experimental rules being used, starting with the format itself, the game divided into 4 quarters.
I'm very happy with the 4 quarters. I think it maintains intensity throughout the match. I think that the green card, being a time suspension, has worked really well. We see that players are very aware of their behavior. They've got to be careful. They can't just go out and protest against their umpire. So there's a lot of fair play. There's a lot of rolling play, which I think has worked great. It's also very clear for the audience, people in the stadium, TV audience. Green card, 2 minutes off. Yellow card, 5 minutes off. I mean, it's totally clear. And the running out at the penalty corner, very important. We see that the early break has been a problem in the penalty corner. We've seen too many situations where with the first penalty corner, defense always runs out too early, too soon, they break the line. I think we've pretty much stopped that with this new rule. So very happy with what we've seen on the pitch.
Another idea to be tried out was the penalty stroke shootout being replaced by a one-on-one with the goalkeeper, with the striker having 8 seconds in which to score.
For a player, it doesn't matter to take or a shootout or a penalty stroke at the end of a game to decide the final or something else. And I think for the audience, it's far more nicer to see because there's a little more action with the shootout than with the penalty stroke. And yeah, actually I'm enthusiastic about that, and I think the audience will like it more, so that's good.
Now the question is, will these rule changes find their way into the international game as well? Spanish coach Moritz Hendricks certainly seems to think so.
I would be delighted if we see some of the innovations. We're just trying to improve the game to make it more spectator friendly. I think we've really done a good job here.
But Dutch coach Roland Altmans is more cautious in his approach.
I don't like rules to be changed inside an Olympic roundup, let's say. So from my point of view, after the Olympics 2008, we have good experience with this kind of rules, and we have to think about which rules we should like into international hockey. And well, in the next period, 2008-2012, we can use those rules.
Whether the rules are changed or not, one thing is certain, it's put a new spin on hockey. Time for a short break, but when we return, all the action from the Singapore International. And China continues its build-up to Beijing. That's all after the break. one of the last few city-states in the world staged the Singapore International Hockey Challenge, a tournament fast acquiring a reputation for being a testing ground for major international teams. It's a competition that was initially designed to provide exposure to these Singaporean players. The SIHC attracted a high-quality field, including development sides from Australia, Malaysia, and last year's finalists, India and Pakistan. The women's event had Australia and Malaysia, along with Hong Kong and the hosts. The group game between India and Pakistan was the match everyone was waiting for. Both teams, known for their eye-catching brand of hockey, included talented youngsters who were keen to impress. For the Indians, this was a grudge match, having lost the previous year's final to their neighbours. And coming out with all guns blazing, the Indians made their aggression count as early as the 5th minute, courtesy of Vinod Kumar Singh. In the 19th minute, Harbir Singh made it 2-0 for the men in blue. And India scored again in the first half after more sustained pressure, Vinod Kumar grabbing his second. India went to the break with a huge psychological advantage. And for Pakistan, attack was the only option. A penalty corner conversion in the 58th minute by Mohammed Zubair gave Pakistan a lifeline. The crowd sends to fight back, and the Pakistanis surged forward to reduce the gap even further. Inayatullah grabbing the goal. But it turned out to be too little too late for Pakistan, India winning the match and a place in the final against Australia.
लड़के बहुत अच्छा चढ़े, बहुत ही बढ़िया खेले और जैसा कि हमारे कोच ने समझाया था, यही 70 मिनट है, कुछ कर जाओ तो मिल जाएगा कुछ ना कुछ, तो हमने कर दिखाया, चक दे इंडिया!
The host Singapore played Pakistan for third spot. Pakistan began with 2 goals in the first 30 minutes, the second scored by Shahzad Nazir. The writing was on the wall by the end of the first half, with Saeed Abdil Hussain grabbing Pakistan's third. Singapore pulled one back, but Pakistan had done enough. The final promised to be a tight affair, with the Indians high on confidence after beating Pakistan, but the Aussies are always tough to beat. After a deadlocked first half, the Indians sneaked ahead in the 42nd minute. Mohammed Atta Mirza converting a penalty corner to the delight of the crowd. But within 30 seconds, the lead had disappeared. A diving effort by Australian captain Jacob Burns, 1-1. With just a few seconds remaining, the game seemed to be headed towards extra time, but a defensive lapse from India. It was punished by Matt Godes, and Australia has clinched a famous victory.
Can we give all our 3 teams cheer? Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip hip! Thank you so much. Give them a very big hand.
The final of the women's event saw Australia take on Malaysia. The Aussies took the lead in just the 12th minute, thanks to Lauren Richards. And 12 minutes later, Kirsten Drysdale struck again and sealed the victory for Australia. The Chinese men who will be making their Olympic debut in Beijing are fast acquiring a reputation as one of the most dangerous sides in international hockey. And as they continue their build-up towards the Olympics, they're aiming to get as much exposure as they can. And that's what brought them to Belgium. Adam Cummins' team have also qualified for Beijing, and it was an important test for them as well. An intensely physical game, the Belgians took the lead in the second half. But China showed once again just why they're so difficult to beat. They hustled Belgium into an error and turned that into a lightning-fast counter-attack, from which Zhang Liu grabbed the equaliser. For coach Kim Sang-ryul, this draw a satisfying result after a hard game.
Through the last about 10 matches, we improved a little bit. Of course, we have some more rooms to improvement. It is good chance for us. So it is excellent opportunity to learn something from Europeans.
The Singapore International Hockey Challenge provided a glimpse as to what lies ahead, giving an opportunity for teams to blood young talent. While India and Pakistan sent junior sides, most players in the under-18 group, the Australian team was comprised of 7 youngsters from Queensland, the hockey heartland of the nation.
When we started this tournament, it was just called the Four Nations Men's and Women's, very simply to get more international competitions for our team, because we realized if you want to get better, you just have to keep playing more tournaments at a higher level. But since then, I'm pleased that this tournament has sort of developed a niche role for itself, in that the top playing nations like India and Pakistan and even Malaysia see it as an opportunity to blood or to test their next line of players, in future players.
Australian hockey has always been characterised by a strong succession plan. One of the products of that system is young Queenslander Jacob Burns. A striker hailed as the next big thing in Australian hockey, he showed his talent in the final and scored the equaliser against India.
It's good development for the guys. I think that we're getting a bit of a rut at home where we just play the same people, same thing. So it's good to come away, a bit of a different change for us, and it gives us a good experience to change our style a little bit.
India too had a few players who look set to serve the senior side well in the not-too-distant future. Captain and central fullback Palvinder Singh is one who's been earmarked to step up a level, along with the drag flagger Rupinder Pal Singh, goalkeeper Mrinal Chaudhary, and player of the tournament Dharamveer Singh.
शुरू से डिफेंस में अच्छा लगता था कि खेलने का। शुरू से जब मैं आया था नया तो कहते थे तूने बस बॉल रोकनी है डिफेंस, तो मैं कहा चलो ठीक है। फॉरवर्ड का इतना शौक नहीं था, वो वैसे ही चलो खेलना आता तो खेल जाते थे, लेकिन मेन मेरा मकसद था कि डिफेंस करना। और मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ मैं आने वाले समय में 2000 ओलंपिक 12 की ओलंपिक में आ सकता हूँ।
At present, future plans for Junior Asia Cup, Junior World Cup. Our focus is on Olympics, 2012 Olympics, and where I will try my best to be there in camp, and after camp in the team, I will try my level best.
The Pakistan team, led by speedy midfielder Shafkat Rasool, failed to make it to the final this time, but in players like Rasool and talented striker Hazim Khan, they look set to have found worthy successors to the likes of Rehan Butt and Shakil Abbasi.
Basically, देखा जाए तो हम आए हैं अपनी टीम का बिल्डअप प्रोसेस। हम अपनी जूनियर वर्ल्ड कप के लिए टीम बना रहे हैं, तो हमारे लिए बड़ी अच्छी चीज़ है जी। एक हमारा एक्सपेरिमेंट होगा, लड़कों को हम दे सकेंगे, उनकी परफॉर्मेंस देखेंगे कौन सा लड़का कितना अच्छा खेल रहा है।
The Australians have taken their forward planning a step further. They've devised a system where not just the players, but also the coaches can move up a level.
You need to be involved in the higher level programs to get that exposure. We are quite lucky in Queensland with Greg Browning. I'm the under-21 Queensland coach, so he includes me in the senior group. And then Mark Hager, the junior national coach, has involved me in that. So a lot of the coaches from around the states get opportunities to go and get involved at the higher level. That is the best way for our development.
The tournament is set to include more teams next year, with the likes of New Zealand and the Netherlands likely to participate. With everyone echoing the benefits of international exposure for the players, a competition of this character is a solid investment in the future of hockey. That's all we have for this edition of ABN AMRO World Hockey, but next month we meet the world's greatest player, Toyin de Nooijer. Join us for that one.